An opportunity for Kath to explain a few things around Comstar systems and where they are positioned, not only as an organisation but also as an employer that is heavily involved in the training and development of their employees. So, Kath, in the synopsis of our agenda, there's a thing around imagination, and please don't hit me when I say this, but I understand that you work with a group of engineers.
Yes.
Yes. So how many engineers?
We've got 8.
8, okay.
8 engineers.
And is that, from an imagination point of view, how imaginative are they?
Oh, I'd say engineers are some of the most creative people you could get to meet.
In what way?
Whilst they're technically based, well, they're always dreaming of ideas. That's what they do. They make things real.
Yeah. But when we say, I mean, obviously, an imagination is only fulfilled in a certain, sort of criteria, though, isn't it? I mean, they've got to work to certain parameters. I mean, it's not a case of just carte blanche imagination, is it? I mean, it's I've got this great idea, I think it'll work. I saw it in a cartoon.
Oh, they do a bit of that too.
Yeah. Okay.
How does that go for you? In the back room. What it does, Tony, they're totally focused on their work. Engineers tend to be quite obsessive people,
yep.
Driven by making something work, and they'll go to the nth degree to make it work. That's imagination.
Okay. So with that imagination and obviously the parameters in which they need to operate, whether they be from I suppose a safety point of view, from a technological point of view.
Look, of course, they're bound by what the end client wants as well. Okay. And as you say, in the field, the OH&S compliance side of things is heavy, and it should be too, especially in the construction industry.
So give us an idea of how Comstar Systems delivers to a client then. So if I'm one of your, I suppose, run-of-the-mill clients, what do you provide to me and how does it all come together?
Depending on who the client is, because we work direct with the major telcos and in some cases NBN.
We're not interrupting you, are we?
Yeah. So the major telcos, they often, the designs come to us and then we build them in the field. But we have other clients that we, from go, we'll design and then build. So,
so what do you make? Explain to the uninitiated what you make.
Okay. If you want a telecommunications tower in your backyard, we can build that for you. You want fibre running past your front door, we can do that. You want a connection in the Telstra exchange, we do that. You need a modem configured for your business, we can do that. So we're unusual as a telecommunications company because we are a one-stop shop. Generally a company would specialise, their riggers, their technicians, their work in IP or something. But we're the whole shop.
Okay, so you've got, I suppose, what you would call the customer-facing interaction from the point of view of a small business that wants a solution that gets them connected into...
Indeed.
I'll say the NBN, but that could be another subject in itself. Everything up to, as you just explained, having some sort of telecommunications tower built in somebody's backyard because they want that, do they?
Well, occasionally. Occasionally that too.
So, from the point of view of manpower or people power inside the business, how many employees?
We've got just under 40 permanent staff and 10 casual staff, and we've just recently had a host employee scenario, and that's just completed.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
And southern-based, statewide?
No, statewide, so mainly southern-based, but we have some staff in the north of the state, and we've just opened an agency in Victoria as well.
Okay, so the expansion plans are going well?
Expanding. Imagination.
Okay. Imagination, okay. All right, very good. Now, talk to us about the, I suppose what we'll say is the training culture. I mean, you as the Australian Training Award winner, which is fantastic, but I mean, whose idea or whose imagination was that to say, let's have a crack at that, and why?
Well, interestingly, Tony, it was not from myself, probably should have been, but it was driven by the staff.
Okay.
On a personal level, my first experience with the Australian Training Awards, or the Tasmanian Training Awards, was a friend of mine worked for the Nursing Federation, and they had sponsored a trainee who'd been nominated, and she asked me if I could go along with her, and I said, oh great, lovely evening. And once I got there, I heard the different candidates speaking and what it meant to them and how it actually was impacting on their lives and their futures. I just thought, that's a good one. That's an award that means something and it will change people's lives.
Okay, so how does it work with Comstar systems and the staff? I mean, you had that experience whenever, but how does that transcend into Comstar systems? And you say it was driven by the staff. How did the staff drive it?
They helped prepare all the information. So they did a lot of the research, and they came to me for ideas. So it was driven by the staff. Okay,
so it was your decision to say, yeah, we're going to have a crack at it?
Absolutely.
Okay, and then everyone participated from that point on?
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
So what does it mean now that you've got it? I mean, what difference does it make to the business or the individual?
There's a lot of indirect benefits, I think, things we hadn't anticipated. Probably the strongest thing was because when we won the award, we were only probably 2 years old as a business, which is, that's infancy stuff. Yeah. So for us to firstly win the Tasmanian Training Award, which we didn't expect to win, and then to go on to win the national, we were all astounded. But what it did do, the morale boost. Mm-hmm. They're most of the staff are field workers. They're don't like to yell and shout from the rafters, but you could see it in their step. Okay. It was the shot in the arm.
The sorts of training or the qualifications that each went through to, I suppose, demonstrate that there was an activity that was occurring. I mean, how many sorts of different skill sets were involved?
There was a myriad, actually. So there was a technical side to the training, there was administrative, there was people doing diplomas in management, there were people doing... it was across the whole company.
So everybody was integrated in some particular way? So there's a training regime for everyone involved?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the...
curly question.
It could be the curly question, I don't know. So now that has everybody finished their training?
No.
Okay. Because that's the thing that sort of strikes...
doesn't stop.
Many, doesn't it?
Pardon?
That's what strikes many. I mean, there's the platform to achieve the end. So is the end result the Australian Training Award, or is the end result the sort of the training activity and the learning?
I think what the training award, winning the training award, did do for us was it just cemented that we were on track.
Okay.
The other unusual benefit, I suppose, was that, and which none of us anticipated, was our clients. Our clients were really proud of us, and I think whilst we had credibility for working with them, it was like a stamp. It was it confirmed that we're a good company to work with them. They actually promoted that.
Okay, that's great.
So totally unexpected.
So what about the attraction of potential employees then?
Same. Well, it's twofold actually. So there's the attraction of potential employees, but there's also our staff being headhunted.
Okay. So, I mean, that's a positive thing in a matter of speaking?
It's great. And in that we have lost a couple of staff, you know, to different opportunities. But the oddest thing that's happened there too, because, you know, they've been reasonably content and happy in their workplace with Comstar, we've actually managed to align with the companies they've joined.
Okay.
So it's not the end when you lose an employee and you've invested in them.
So it actually creates a broader network?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's because you've got this sort of the one-stop shop approach where
That's
you can
right.
actually do everything from a small operation right through to large-scale construction and those sorts of things.
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Great. So has anybody got any questions of Kath from the point of view of where the Comstar system is positioned and what they've done and how they go about doing it?
What's your future?
Future, I think we've got an interesting future given the industry we work in. So at the moment it's and I'll be quite honest, it's been a little bit of a political football. So there's, you know, of course the big project, NBN, happening in the background, and it's stopped and started. That's impacted on the major telcos, the way they've rolled out their business as well. But it seems like things have settled a little bit more now, and there's more certainty. There's long-term projects being rolled out. Tasmania, we will probably maintain the size of company we've got at the moment. Victoria will absolutely grow, and that's probably due to the fact that in Tasmania the work, no matter what industry, tends to ebb and flow. But the other states, Victoria, New South Wales, there's a greater volume of works, so it's easier to it's easier to win consistent work, to be honest. Yeah. So yeah, we'll keep growing.
What were the key factors that led to the successful establishment of the business, and to what extent was access to skills a key issue for you?
Actually, it was the biggest gap, actually. When we first started out, we were born out of a managerial buyout, basically. So I wasn't actually, I'd formerly worked within that small telco company, knew the staff. There were 11 at the time, and 2 of the other directors had worked within that company as well. The fourth owner, he's got a civil engineering background. We all knew there was a huge gap in training, and that probably was born out of the major telcos once again, probably 10, 15 years ago. Fantastic training, wonderful apprenticeships, and then for whatever reason things changed, so there was a gap in the market of 15 years. So really we had no choice other than to be serious about training. But it's held us in good stead as well. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, I think in part. I'm just wondering what other factors were important as well. I mean, obviously it's the Skills Conference. I'm just curious to know what other key factors were involved in the successful establishment of the business.
I think partly because of what we were born out of. So we had 3 weeks to form a company. The opportunity was very brief, so we had to be highly organised, and that was to finance ourselves, to also check that the employees who were going to transfer to us believed enough in what our plans were to follow through on that. And the other one was to find clients. Probably one of the biggest things, actually. So I think it's it's the way that we were all united. That's, you know, we all got the idea, we understood the vision, little opportunity, okay, here we go, band together, broaden our skills, nothing can hold you back. I suppose in the end everything's about relationships, isn't it? It doesn't matter whether it's with staff or clients or training organisations, whatever it is. So we've been fairly successful at maintaining those relationships and developing them.
Excellent. One more.
Kath,
Yes.
if there was one thing about our training system that you could either have for Christmas or be allowed to change, what would it be?
Oh, look. It's probably, I'd love to see more collaboration with other businesses in training. Probably the areas that we have struggled a little bit is that we can't put all of our staff through a certain course. So, and most training is geared to a certain, 10 in a group or 15 in a group. We don't have that amount of staff who can attend. So to join together with other businesses with the same needs, without those other businesses being threatened by that knowledge, I think that would be great.
Great, thank you.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much, Kath.
We're done, are we, Tony?
We're done here. I've got to move on to the next interview.
Thank you very much.
So, thank you very much.